Hello Year 11. Now in this video we're going to go through the Unit 3 paper that you sat for your PPEs. It's the June 2015 paper, and this video I have an example of an A-star student's paper that they sat in 2015. So as we go through your paper, here we've got some exemplar answers that may very well help you, particularly with the longer questions. I have sent a copy of this particular exemplar paper to your school email, and I have uploaded it on Google Drive as well. So first question, here we have a product life cycle figure showing the sales of a product over time, asking you to identify what phase 2 is called, and phase 2 is growth. We know that phase 1 is introduction, phase 2 is growth, phase 3 is decline, and phase 3 is maturity, and phase 4 is decline. When a business gets products that enter phase 3, that's the maturity stage, quite often a business will use an extension strategy to try and extend the life of that product. So in this question here, outline one way in which a business might extend the life cycle of a product. You could choose something like improved flavours, new packaging, selling the product to a new target audience. This student here has chosen to focus on quality. They've put a business might improve the quality of the product. This will differentiate this product from competitors' products, giving customers more of a reason to buy it, leading to increased sales and profit. And you will see it's a generic question, it's asking in general terms, and the student's given a generic answer and gained 2 marks there. Next question. State 2 methods of collecting market research information. So methods could include things like surveys, questionnaires, interviews, observations, focus groups, internet research. If you're one of the students that put primary or secondary research, primary and secondary is sources of data, not methods of data. So sources of data, where it came from, whether it's first-hand primary or second-hand, which is secondary data. Okay, next question. Now here we've got our first 3 marker here. So with 3 markers you make a point and then you extend it with 2 links. Explain one reason why a business might collect market research information. So it's only asking for one reason. This student here has written, market research information will allow a business to make more revenue. This is because they will have information about their competitors, which they can then use to improve their products. Improving products will improve the quality, leading them to be able to charge a higher price as customers will still buy it. Right, question number 2. Now we're looking at an actual case study here. This case study is on IHG, which is the Intercontinental Hotels Group. And it's a chain of hotels, and it was the first chain of hotels to pay its London workers a minimum of £8.30 per hour. At the time, this is £1.99 above the minimum wage. And IHG estimated that this would increase the pay of 97% of its workers. IHG hoped that by paying its workers more than the legal minimum wage, both motivation and productivity would improve. It was hoped that other hotel groups such as Hilton and Travelodge would follow IHG's lead. So here we have a case study. So any questions that are subsequent to this case study, you really need to put in context. You need to be talking about the hotel industry. You need to be using the name of IHG and its rivals. You really need to be talking about guests rather than customers. So first question, which of the following best describes productivity? And the answer is C. Productivity is the amount of products one worker can make in an hour. If you've forgotten how to calculate productivity, come and speak to me at the end of the video. Right, B. State 3 methods other than increasing wages that IHG could use to motivate its workers. This student got 2 marks out of 3. I suggest they got 1 mark for promotion. That's where promoting a member of staff to a level of higher responsibility. That would definitely motivate a lot of people. And also fringe benefits, which we will talk about in later lessons. Fringe benefits are things like perks, company cars, nursery discounts for childcare, free gym membership, that sort of thing. I believe this student probably did not get a mark for holidays because holidays tend to be in the contract of most jobs anyway. However, if they had put free stays in the IHG hotels, that would have been far more specific, and I think they would have gained a mark for that. Now here's a couple of 2 more 3 markers. Explain 1 benefit to IHG of increased worker motivation. This student has put, increased staff motivation will allow the business, and really they should use IHG as the name there, to earn higher revenue. This is because staff will be happier, leading them to offering a better customer service. If customers enjoy their time, it is likely to lead to repeat purchase and customer loyalty, leading to customers being more likely to stay with IHG over competitors such as Hilton. Therefore, gives IHG a competitive advantage. So they have put their answer in context, although you have to read quite a few sentences before you get to the context. But they've used the name IHG and they used the name of some of the rival companies. The London hotel market is very competitive. IHG offers a high loyalty card to its customers that rewards them with points for each stay. These points can then be exchanged for a free night in any IHG hotel. Explain 1 advantage to IHG of high levels of customer loyalty. Some of Year 11 referred to the information given here, and some of Year 11 didn't refer to it at all. The students who did refer to the loyalty card scheme tended to get higher marks because their answers were in context. So this student here has put customer loyalty will lead to higher revenue. This is because sales will increase due to repeat purchase of loyal customers, and IHG will gain a good reputation. This could lead to people being more likely to stay with the IHG over competitors such as Hilton and Travelodge, giving IHG a competitive advantage. So you can see that this student didn't refer to the loyalty scheme, however, their answer was sufficient to gain full 3 marks. But I will say, if you're given information like this loyalty scheme, please use it because it will help you formulate your answer. Now we're looking at the National Express question. So National Express runs coaches to over 900 destinations in the UK. To travel, customers book tickets on the company website that they then print off. This allows National Express to cut its costs and remain competitive with other types of transport, such as cars and trains. Which of the following is most likely to increase the revenue of National Express? The answer is A, higher number of passengers. So passengers pay for tickets, and the income from those tickets is revenue. Don't get confused with profit. Revenue is money coming into a business. State 2 methods that National Express could use to encourage people to buy its products. This student has put 50% off tickets, so discounts, and also increase advertising, so people are more aware. They could use the word travellers, that would be better. Explain 1 disadvantage to National Express of providing poor customer service. This student got 3 marks out of 3. Poor customer service will give National Express a poor reputation. This is because customers will be unsatisfied with the poor service they have received, leading them to be more likely to use other transport methods in future, such as trains. Word of mouth will also get around about the bad customer service, leading to a reduction in sales and less profit. Question number 4. The intercity coach market between places such as Leeds and London is very competitive. National Express has to compete with train companies as well as other coach operators such as Megabus and CityLink. Prices for some coach tickets start from as little as £1. Describe why reducing costs could allow National Express to remain competitive. Now, the key word here is costs. Cost is expenses, so costs are fixed costs or variable costs. And the premise behind this question is, if a business has less costs to pay out on, that means that they are making savings, which they could either keep as profit, increase profit for themselves, or they could pass these savings on to customers by reducing the ticket price, the selling price of their seats. So this student only got 1 out of 4 because they fell into the trap that a lot of students fell into, which was confusing the word costs with price. So to gain 4 marks, you need to be talking about the costs of National Express. That could be petrol, that could be staff costs, that could be rent of the place where they store all of their coaches. If they keep costs down, it means that they are able to make more profit, or they're able to pass those costs on to customers by lowering the selling price. And if they lower the selling price, customers are more likely to come to National Express than go to companies like Megabus or CityLink. Next question is on Starbucks, the American coffee shop chain with over 600 outlets in the UK. Each coffee shop sells a range of drinks such as mochas and frappuccinos. In the UK, Starbucks competes against rivals such as Costa Coffee and Caffè Nero, as well as many small independent cafes and coffee shops. Which of the following is most likely to result in an immediate improvement in Starbucks' cash flow? And the answer is paying suppliers later. So if Starbucks are able to pay their suppliers, for example, the coffee is that's supplied to them, they don't pay the bill for the coffee perhaps until about 3 months later. It means they can hold on to that cash in their bank account for longer, so it helps their cash flow. Outline one method Starbucks could use to differentiate its coffee from that of its rivals. This student has written, Starbucks could increase the quality of the coffee by making it taste nicer. This would add value to Starbucks coffee, allowing them to charge a higher price, giving them increased revenue. Next question is about Starbucks being accused by the pressure group UK Uncut of finding legal ways of paying less tax to the UK government. UK Uncut argued that Starbucks was not behaving in an ethical way. Explain one possible disadvantage to Starbucks of not behaving in an ethical way. So this student got 3 out of 3, and they put not behaving in an ethical way could give Starbucks a poor reputation. This could lead to customers being more likely to buy from competitors such as Costa, leading to a reduction in sales for Starbucks. This could lead them having to decrease their prices in order to regain customers, or else Starbucks will receive less profit. So you see, it's in context, it's talking about Starbucks, it's talking about its rivals, it's talking about coffee, so it's beautifully in context and deservedly gaining 3 marks for that. Now this is an interesting one. It's a 6 marker. We're going to go through this 6 marker technique in the next lesson or 2. This is where you will be given 2 options and you need to decide which option is the best. So what you could do is you could focus on one option and explain why you think it's the best, and then talk about the other option and say why you don't think it's a good idea, but you will need to put your opinion at the bottom. So here, in order to reduce the impact of pressure group activity, Starbucks considered 2 options. Options 1, do nothing. Option 2, agree to pay the UK government more tax. Which of these two methods do you think would be more effective in allowing Starbucks to maintain high levels of profit? Justify your answer. And this student has written, you can see they've put it into 3 separate paragraphs. Agreeing to pay the government more tax could allow Starbucks to gain back its reputation, which could result in an increase in sales and an increase in profits. Doing nothing would, however, lower Starbucks' costs. Agreeing to pay more tax would lead to a massive increase in costs for Starbucks, which could result, sorry, this phone keeps having these pop-ups, which could result in them having to lower the amount of advertising they do. This will make Starbucks less competitive with Caffè Nero and Costa Coffee, possibly leading to less sales and less profit. Doing nothing would just give Starbucks an even worse reputation, leading to a further decrease in sales and profits. Overall, I believe paying the government more taxes will be the most ethical thing to do. Customers might recognise this ethical act, giving Starbucks a better reputation, increasing sales and maintaining high profit levels. So they gained a full 6 marks there. Right, next case study is on Elvis and Cress. So they make wallets from waste fire hoses, which would normally be thrown away by the fire brigade at the end of their working life. The design mix is important to Elvis and Cress, and each wallet produced is put through a strict quality control process. In recent years, the brand has become very popular as consumers become more concerned about environmental issues. Each wallet is made almost entirely from waste fire hoses, and Elvis and Cress uses renewable energy in its production process. However, Elvis and Cress is based in central London, and this can cause deliveries of raw materials to be slow. Elvis and Cress also exports its wallets by plane to countries such as Japan and the USA. In the last few years, the Elvis and Cress brand has become very popular, selling to celebrities such as Cameron Diaz. As a result, the company has expanded its product mix to include belts and cufflinks, all made out of recycled waste. Each item is sold at a premium price, with wallets retailing for as much as £75. First question for 2 marks. What is meant by quality control? Quality control is where the quality of the product is checked at the end of production, ensuring it is fit for purpose and meets the quality requirements and is eligible to be sold. Full 2 marks there. Outline one method Elvis and Cress could use to improve the quality of its products. Elvis and Cress could adopt a quality assurance culture method. This ensures that the quality is then at every single stage, I think it's checked at every single stage of production, making quality everybody's number one focus, leading to them being even further added value. Explain one advantage to Elvis and Cress of selling its wallets at a high price. Selling at a high price could lead to increased revenue. This is because Elvis and Cress's products are completely unique due to their USP, selling wallets, etc., out of recycled goods. Therefore, customers are likely to buy the products even with a slightly higher price. So you see, these answers are highly relevant to the business Elvis and Cress. Instead of they're talking about products, they're actually saying wallets. So they're keeping this in context at all times. Right, an 8 marker here is asking you to state one possible advantage and one possible disadvantage to the environment from Elvis and Cress's business activities, and then for each of those explain the likely effect on the environment. So here you need to have an advantage, and then you need to use the BLT technique to expand further. So this student has put less greenhouse gases released into the atmosphere. Because Elvis and Cress use renewable energy in the production process as opposed to unrenewable energy, it is made by burning fossil fuels. They release less greenhouse gases into the atmosphere. This leads to less damage being done to the ozone layer, and therefore means Elvis and Cress aren't contributing to global warming and climate change. For the disadvantage, they've put higher pollution levels. Because Elvis and Cress are sending wallets to countries like Japan and China via plane, they are increasing the amount of pollution in the atmosphere. Planes burn fuel for energy so they can fly. This releases the amount of fumes and greenhouse gases in the atmosphere, which could affect habitats as the air is polluted, causing deaths and wildlife, and contributing to the global warming and climate change. So they've kept this really in context again to the case study. Right, what is meant by the design mix? Design mix, think AFC, the appearance, the function and the design. This student has said it is to do with the quality of the product and how it is made. For example, the products have a unique appearance. Here we have the stock control diagram asking you to identify the level of the buffer stock. Now that will be the lower horizontal line there, and you can see on the left-hand axis, the left-hand axis goes up in tens, so it's gone up 2 squares, so that's 20 kilograms. Calculate the weight in kilograms of delivery A. Now we can see delivery A. If we cast our eyes down to the bottom, the lower axis is the number of days, and each of those boxes represents 2 days at a time. So we can see that when the buffer stock had got down to its minimum level of 20 kilograms, on day, 2, 4, 6, on day 6, delivery A came in, and we can see that took the stock level up to 120. So 120 was the stock level when it came in, but of course we had 20 there already. So 120 minus 20 is 100 kilograms arrived in that delivery. The third question is asking you to calculate the length in time it took for delivery B to arrive. So if we cast our eyes over to the B delivery date on the chart, we can see, we know it goes along in twos along the bottom, so 20, 22, 24, 26. On day 26, that delivery arrived. However, we need to look back to see when it was ordered. So we look at the reorder level, and we cast our eyes back, and we can see it's where the reorder level line crosses with that diagonal line going down, and that was on day, I believe, is on day 12. Is it on day 12? Yes. So on day 12, more stock was ordered, didn't come in until day 26, so that gives 14 days for delivery. Okay, next one. Assess the benefits to Elvis and Cress of holding large stocks of raw material. So that's your buffer stock, large stocks, having it in stock there, ready for when customers want to actually buy it. For 8 marks, I think the student would have got that extra mark if they had a stronger conclusion at the bottom, but what they're doing is making a comparison of using buffer stocks, and they're looking at the disadvantages. So here we go. Holding large stocks could lead to increased revenue for Elvis and Cress. This is because if there is a rise in demand for their wallets, they can easily react and supply all customers with no problems and no wait time. This will lead to high levels of customer satisfaction, leading to repeat purchase and customer loyalty. However, holding large stocks could reduce Elvis and Cress's profit. This is because they will have to pay for storage facilities to store their fire hoses, leading to increased costs. This could result in them having to reduce the amount of advertising they do, leading to less customer awareness and a reduction in sales. Overall, I believe holding stock would be a bigger benefit, as Elvis and Cress will easily be able to react to surges in demand and maintain repeat purchase. Good analysis there. Right, section C is about Beats. I'm not going to read through the whole of that case study. I'm going to leave that for you to read through yourself. However, if we just look at the answers that this student has given to the questions, what is meant by the term brand? A brand is something that a business tries to build up in order to be more competitive and gain more customer awareness. They got 1 mark there. If they had put down that it's a recognisable, something that customers will recognise, they would have got their 2nd mark for that. Outline 1 benefit to Beats Electronics of building a global headphone brand. Building a global brand will lead to increased profits for Beats. This is because more people are aware of their product. Therefore, the business will see an increase in sales, giving them advantage over Sony. So the word here is the fact it's a global brand. So therefore, more people around the world will see the headphones and therefore may want the headphones. Discuss. Now this is where you're going to talk about the pros and cons of something and give an opinion. Discuss the advantages to Beats Electronics of using new share capital to fund its expansion. Share capital is a short-term source of finance that involves selling new shares. Don't forget that share capital is when a shareholder will give some of their capital, i.e. money, to a business in return for a share in the profits. So someone giving money to a business in return for a share of the profits. That's what share capital is. So share capital will allow Beats to increase its cash inflows largely in the short term, allowing the business to have more money to fund its expansion. This expansion will allow Beats to increase its profit by increasing awareness, developing a strong brand image and increasing sales. Selling shares also means customers feel part of the business, leading to repeat purchase and customer loyalty. However, share capital is only a short-term source of finance. Therefore, the expansion is not going to take a long time. Banks will have to be at a longer time source of finance. I think what the student here is saying that share capital is like a one-off thing, and it's quite short term. If they've used all that capital, they can't. Sometimes they don't want to go back to shareholders and say we need more. They will therefore then go to a bank. I would also add to this actually that share capital, they don't have to pay interest to the shareholders. So the alternative is perhaps to borrow a large bank loan, but of course that can be very expensive because it costs money. Right, so this student has given an advantage and a disadvantage, and they're giving their conclusion. Overall, I think share capital is a good source of finance for funding the expansion, as it can involve customers in the process and develop a stronger relationship. They got full 6 marks there. Using your knowledge of the business. Right, this is the 10 marker. Now 10 markers, they normally use the phrase using your knowledge of business assess, or using your knowledge discuss. So this one is using your knowledge of business assess the importance of product to Beats Electronic when developing a competitive marketing mix. So don't forget the marketing mix is the product, place, price, promotion. And what this question here is asking you to do is to think about whether just focusing on the product is the best tactic. So you could argue actually it's really important because, you know, with a quality brand, people aren't going to want to buy it. However, you could argue that the other 3 P's are equally as important: the promotion, the price of the product, where it's placed, in other words, how customers can get hold of it. So this student got 8 out of 10 for this. I believe that they could have got full marks had they given a stronger conclusion. So this student has put product is extremely important for Beats in developing a competitive product, as the product is the thing they sell in order to make revenue. Beats will need to focus on the quality of the product and the packaging so that customers will choose their headphones over competitors' ones, such as Samsung or Sony. Beats are targeted at younger people, therefore it is young people that prefer the product Beats sell to the products competitors sell. Beats will see an increase in sales. Beats will be able to increase the price of the product as they have a strong brand and are selling a product that young people want to buy that is fashionable. Other factors of the marketing mix are important, such as promotion. Beats have worked with celebrities such as Justin Bieber to promote their product and develop a strong brand. Therefore, Beats already have been successful with promotion. Overall, I believe product is extremely important. So they could have made this a stronger argument if they actually perhaps given a stronger conclusion and said that although product is important, the other 4 P's are equally important, because ideally the marketing mix needs to be a balance of all of those 3 P's: product, place, price, promotion. Okay, so thanks for bearing with us while we went through that paper. As I say, I've put a copy of that paper on Google Drive for you, and I've also emailed it to your school email account. Thank you.